So I seem to have struck a chord when I spoke to Greeley City Council on April 7th about Carestream being included in the West Greeley GID, and the fact that what the city has said and what they're doing isn't consistent.
We are being made out to be these bullies that are going after properties in Windsor and soliciting people to come into the Greeley boundaries, and that's simply not true. The owner of the property wants to be in Greeley.
In September, he told the city that he got a new buyer, an AI data company, to commit to annexing into Greeley rather than Windsor, who he said badly wanted it. And he asked the city for a feel-good letter to reassure them. Last month, the sale was final.
In the end, Windsor cannot service this property.
They repeated this again in October, stating they do not consent to the inclusion, noting that the Leapfrog development is poor planning, and the site is already served by Windsor Severance Fire Rescue and other services.
There are several land use cases happening on similar schedules in both the city and the county in a very tight-knit area. To a non-professional, it appears that they're related or inclusive of each other's characteristics. So these cases are unrelated.
So I started asking, why is Greeley pushing so hard for property that is functionally Windsor's? Cora documents provided some clarity. On August 30th, 2024, Carestream entered a purchase agreement with VEMA, Martin Lynn's company. On November 4th of 2024, Greeley and VEMA signed a letter of intent with several conditions. The city would pay a $200,000 non-refundable deposit to the escrow. They would cover what ended up becoming over $68,000 in due diligence costs, obtain a $10 million 10-year insurance policy, and allow Mr. Lynn to retain the water rights. And finally, to agree to work in good faith with VEMA on future real estate deals, aka Cascadia, and ensure that the conveyances aligned with VEMA's interests. Initially, Carestream and Cascadia looked unrelated. It's now clear Carestream seems to be a bargaining chip in negotiations for Cascadia. Cora emails show Mr. Lynn was frustrated when the Sherview conservation easement was recorded, saying he expected the city to make best efforts per the letter of intent agreement to allow part of the land to be purchased for his projects, not preserved.
Again, this is just a planning exercise, and it is something that we've set for January of every year. Whether or not there's any negative, there is no pending annexation application waiting on this plan. We'll start with the 3 mile plan. Is essentially acts as an extension of our long range expected growth area by including these areas in the 3 mile plan. Should they elect to annex in the future, again, voluntarily annex in the future, then we have a plan for how we would serve those properties.
So just so we're clear, November of last year, Lynn said the owners want to annex to Greeley, and all Greeley has to do is write a letter because he's convinced them. January, the city adds Carestream to the 3 mile plan, saying there are no plans for annexation. Then, at the last meeting, McDonald says the owners came to Greeley on their own accord and want to annex. And in that same meeting, the city again says that there are no plans and that this is just in case. I'm getting really tired of the victim story and the accusations of spreading misinformation. As residents, we're having to go and find the information and dig through what isn't being shared transparently. And even the stuff that is being shared, when we have to sort through all of these conflicting messages, I guess I'm a little confused about what the city actually expects.